We've all been there, haven't we? Just wishing you could tell what someone really thinks, beyond the words.
Definitely. It's like wanting a little decoder ring for people sometimes.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that using Allan Goldman's How to Analyze People. We've looked at audiobook summaries, even a study guide quiz.
Right. Getting a few different angles on his core ideas.
And our mission here is pretty simple. Pull out the stuff you can actually use, like right away. Practical insights to understand people better.
Sort of a shortcut to decoding that hidden language of behavior. We're hoping for some real aha moments for you.
Without making your head spin with too much theory. So where do we start? Goldman seems big on body language.
Oh, absolutely. That's like foundational in the sources we looked at. The numbers are pretty striking. Somewhere between 55%, maybe even up to 70% of our communication isn't verbal at all.
70%. Wow. So most of what we're saying, we're not actually saying.
Pretty much. It's this whole other channel, this body language Goldman talks about, a constant stream of signals.
Okay, so let's break that down. Body language. Where does he begin? Chest, maybe?
Yeah, the summaries often start there. How we angle our torso. Facing someone directly, chest out. It's generally positive, right?
Seems like it would be. Like you're open, not guarded.
Exactly. It taps into something primal,
Yeah.
Feeling safe versus feeling threatened. When we feel okay, we expose our front. The sources suggest it signals trust, comfort. But if someone starts angling away, even just slightly, even if they're still talking to you, that might suggest they're uncomfortable, maybe disagreeing, or just, wanting out of the interaction on some level.
That makes total sense. I can picture doing that myself in an awkward spot. Okay, what about hands? People use their hands so differently.
Right. Energetic hand gestures often signal enthusiasm, maybe confidence. Think about someone really passionate about an idea.
Their hands are flying everywhere.
Totally. But then hiding hands or lots of fidgeting, that can point towards nervousness, maybe anxiety, or perhaps that they're holding something back.
Interesting. So active hands aren't necessarily bad. Could just be engagement. What about legs and feet? I admit I rarely notice someone's feet.
And that's why they can be such giveaways. Goldman, or at least the summaries of his work, point out that we control our feet less consciously.
Ah, so they leak the truth.
Sometimes, yeah. The classic example is feet pointing toward the door or an exit. It could mean subconsciously they want to leave.
Oh, man. You see that on a first date? Not a great sign.
Definitely not. And leg posture too tightly crossed might mean defensive or insecure. More open might suggest relaxation, confidence.
But you have to be careful there, right? Culture and just personal habit must play a role.
Hugely important. Context is everything. The summaries really stress that. It's like being a detective. One clue isn't the whole story. You need to gather lots of evidence.
Gotcha. Okay, moving up to the face. This feels like the most obvious place for signals. Eyebrows, eyes, mouth.
Super expressive territory. Eyebrows alone, they can show concentration, like a little furrow. Surprise. They shoot right up. Skepticism, maybe a little arch.
Even tiny movements matter.
They can, yeah, like micro-expressions. But even just regular brow movements add flavor to what's being said.
Okay. Eyes. Eye contact. Always feels significant. Looking away means lying, right? Or is it more complicated?
It's way more complicated. Generally, yeah, we associate decent eye contact with honesty and confidence. Avoiding it can signal nervousness or dishonesty.
What?
But sometimes people force eye contact to seem more credible when they're not being truthful. And too much intense staring can feel aggressive or intimidating.
Right. Context again?
And culture. Plus, sometimes prolonged eye contact is about attraction. It's really nuanced.
Okay, so no easy rule there. What about the smile? Surely a smile is a smile.
Not quite. The summaries make a great point distinguishing a real, genuine smile, what scientists call a Duchenne smile, from a polite, social one.
How can you tell the difference?
Look at the eyes. A genuine smile involves the muscles around the eyes. You get those little crinkles at the corners, crow's feet.
The crow's feet test.
Exactly. A fake or social smile often just uses the mouth muscles. It doesn't reach the eyes. That's a really useful tip, actually.
Definitely filing that one away. So a big takeaway on body language seems to be look at everything together. Don't just focus on one thing.
Precisely. It's the cluster of signals, the whole pattern, considered alongside the situation, the person's baseline behavior, their culture, all of it.
Makes sense. Build the whole picture. So body language is the foundation. What else do the summaries of Goldman's work say we should look at?
Well, we move beyond the purely physical. Things like dress and speech patterns come into play.
How someone dresses. Really?
It's not foolproof, obviously, but sometimes choices in clothing can hint at things. Confidence levels, maybe a need to fit in or stand out. But the sources also give examples where this is misleading, like someone dressing down but being incredibly competent.
Right. Appearances can be deceiving. And speech.
Confident people often speak at a moderate pace and volume, clearly. Hesitation, speaking too fast or too quietly, that might signal nervousness.
Okay. That seems intuitive. What about less obvious things, like hobbies or habits?
Yeah, the sources suggest these can offer insights too. Someone who volunteers might value empathy. Someone with very rigid routines might need control.
Or maybe they just like routine.
Exactly. These are just potential clues, not diagnoses. Pet ownership might suggest a caring side, obsessive social media use, maybe lower self-confidence. But again, these are just possibilities to consider.
And music taste.
Yeah.
I saw that mentioned, which surprised me a bit.
There is some research touched on in the materials linking music taste to personality traits. Like fans of complex genres might be more open to experience, rock fans may be more introverted but gentle.
Interesting.
But the summaries strongly caution against stereotypes here. Music is so personal, don't judge a book by its playlists.
Good advice. My playlist would break any system. What about who people hang out with? Their friends?
That's often a much stronger indicator. The old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Psychologists call it homophily.
Meaning we tend to like people who are like us.
Generally, yes. Shared values, interests, beliefs. So looking at someone's close friends can give you a pretty good sense of their own character and what they prioritize.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we've got body language, appearance, speech, habits, friends. Quite a toolkit. How do we actually use this, say, at work?
The workplace is a great example. Understanding your boss, for instance. What drives them? Is it power, achievement, or affiliation, getting along with people?
Knowing that could help you communicate better with them.
Absolutely. Tailor your approach. Also, observe how they run meetings, how they talk about the team, positively or negatively. Even their interview style can hint at their values.
Okay. And colleagues.
It's often about how they treat you. Are you included, respected? Do they listen? That tells you a lot about your relationship.
And it's not just about analyzing them, is it? The sources mention self-reflection too.
Crucial point. How are you contributing to the dynamic? Are your signals clear? And then there are microexpressions again.
Those super fast facial flashes.
Yeah. At work, catching a brief flicker of doubt on your boss's face during your presentation, even if they say great job, that's valuable data.
Takes practice to spot those, I bet. What about applying this to romantic relationships? Feels even trickier.
Higher stakes, maybe, but similar principles apply. A big one from the sources. Watch how a potential partner treats other people, especially service staff.
Ah, the waiter test.
Kinda, yeah. Consistent rudeness there can be a huge red flag about their underlying character. Also, watch out for excessive jealousy, controlling tendencies.
Obvious red flags, hopefully.
You'd hope. And how they handle stress or anger is also key. Does it come out constructively, or that gives you a window into future conflict resolution?
Really important stuff to observe early on. Now, you mentioned self-reflection for work, but it seems like self-analysis is the theme overall here.
It really is. The summaries emphasize that understanding yourself, your own biases, motivations, triggers, how you communicate nonverbally is fundamental to analyzing others effectively and empathetically.
So you can't really understand others until you understand yourself.
Pretty much. Knowing your own baseline helps you read others more clearly. Plus, you become aware of the signals you're sending out, maybe unintentionally.
Right. Okay, so stepping back, what's the main goal here? Is it about judging people, labeling them?
No, definitely not. The sources are clear. The aim isn't manipulation or judgment. It's about fostering understanding, empathy, building deeper connections.
So using these tools for good, essentially.
Ideally, yes. And always remembering context, avoiding snap judgments. People are complex. This is an ongoing learning process, not a final exam.
Good reminder. So key takeaways. Nonverbal is huge, but context is king. Look beyond body language to habits, friends, communication style. Understand motivations, theirs and yours.
And self-awareness is absolutely critical. It all starts there.
So maybe the challenge for you listening is to just start observing a bit more consciously today. Notice the posture, the eye contact, the hand gestures.
But also, maybe pause and think about the signals you're putting out there. What message are you sending without even speaking?
Yeah, that's a fascinating thought to end on. How are you being perceived? What story is your body language telling?
It's a constant interplay, isn't it? This whole world of human interaction. Keep exploring it.
Absolutely. Keep diving deep.
Yeah.
Until next time.